Meanwhile, the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPPMAN, has urged NUPENG and PETROAN to halt planned industrial actions and embrace negotiations to resolve conflicts in the downstream oil sector. Tensions among stakeholders risk disrupting national petroleum supply. NUPENG claims Dangote Refinery engages in anti-union labor practices and will strike from September 8th. PETROAN plans a 3-day suspension of petroleum products dispensing starting September 9. DAPPMAN seeks a balanced, sustainable resolution to avoid economic disruption and safeguard the industry's stability. Now, News Central's correspondent Bettina Nwelih joins us to give an update. Also joining us to discuss the development is oil and gas analyst George Brown. First, Bettina, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's start with you with that update. What is the situation currently with all the strikes and talk of strike being bandied about by the unions?
All right, thank you very much, Mazino. Now, there have been talks about the strike starting today from NUPENG, but currently there has been no sign of any strike happening here in Abuja. We have been to different filling stations, and you can see that it is business as usual. There isn't a shortage of fuel as we would suspect. There isn't any stoppage of selling of fuel as well, but everything seems calm. We will continue to keep watch out for tomorrow to see whether the strike will get here by tomorrow or even by this evening. But currently, as I speak to you, I can confirm that it is still business as usual here in Abuja. There is no sign of any strike, and there is also no sign of any fuel shortage or stoppage of selling of fuel.
Bettina, in these kinds of times, motorists always engage in panic buying. Have you witnessed any the sort?
Well, I would say that Abuja is a peculiar city because even before now, before any talks of strike, you will see people selling fuel at junctions, at parks, inside different kegs and cans. So that is not something that is new. So even if I do see that today, I wouldn't attribute it to the ongoing strike that is commenced already in Lagos. So I can't really say that there's any form of panic buying. There aren't any long queues at the filling stations. There aren't any people, loading their trucks with cans or kegs to be able to buy when they get to a certain point. So like I said, it is still business as usual here in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Bettina. Now let's move on to Mr. George Brown, who's joining us. George, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. So we would like to know, what are the immediate and long-term implications of NUPENG's strike on Nigeria's downstream oil sector?
Okay, thanks, Mazino, for having me. NUPENG, Pengerson, DAPPMAN, DAPPMAN, and PETROAN are sore losers. They want to increase the hardship that Nigerians are grappling with. Nigerians are already adjusting to the present-day realities where we have expensive petroleum products, but there is availability. Now, since there is availability of the products, and Nigerians are still finding it difficult to adjust to the attendant hardships that has accompanied the increase in the price of petroleum products. Why would these unions that are being, receiving a lot of free monies, for lack of words, they've been receiving free money all these decades, and today we have a independent, local, indigenous producer who has made the product to be available, has even forced the pricing of the product to become competitive. Yet, PETROAN is still importing. And whenever PETROAN imports, they still have their markets. They have the existing fuel stations. Then, of course, you have the depot owners. The depot owners were people that, were traders. They came into the business, they came into the sector, they set up tank farms. When products are imported, they store these products in this strategic tank farms scattered all over the country, and they receive payments for storing these products. Now, Dangote comes into the mix, produces his product locally, have no need for this tank farms. And MRS is the sole lifter of his product from where others marketers can buy from and take to their stations. And because of the bottlenecks in the logistics subsector, Dangote decided to bring in 4,000 energy-efficient trucks. And he is saying that we will deliver the products to you, we'll cut off that cost that you incur, that the end user is the one that pays for that cost. I want to reduce cost for you.
George Brown,
to ensure that I don't
George Brown, on the purchase of these trucks, could you please identify exactly how these will cut cost? We know they're CNG trucks, but by what margin would they be cutting costs that will become evident by the consumer?
Okay, let me use a rough estimate. The cost of transporting a liter of petrol is around 50 naira around the country. It's around 50 naira a liter, right? Now you're using CNG, you're not using diesel. And CNG is 400 times cheaper than HU, right? Currently, it's about 350 to 400 times cheaper, or 400% cheaper. So it means that we might be seeing a drop in pricing from that chunk of the cost of transporting a liter of fuel by 50%.
Okay, now, so Brown,
50%.
so George Brown, now how does this now annoy the unions? How does making petrol cheaper for the end user cause such a situation that we're now calling for strikes?
The union is used to making life difficult for Nigerians. They've been living on the hardship and the blood and sweat of Nigerians and tears of Nigerians all these decades. And the new mix in the market that has liberalized the PMS market so much is making them uncomfortable, and it's because they have refused to evolve. What is so difficult for tanker owners to begin to invest in energy efficient trucks? These energy efficient trucks have less running costs. The drivers will not steal your diesel on the road. Whatever product that you put to power your asset is what your asset is going to use. The drivers will not have any means of siphoning your diesel along the road to sell. The vehicles become more efficient because their running cost is cheaper and maintenance cost is also cheaper because they consume less oil, engine oil. So the entire running cost is lower. And these people that are stuck in the past don't want Nigerians to move forward, don't want Nigerians to have respite because they have been used to enjoying free monies, and whenever anything goes wrong, they hold the country at the jugular. But right now, that strength that they have is being weakened, and what we're experiencing is a kick of a dying horse. I will say that all the unions, as whole as they are not more than 50,000 people. They are not more than 50,000 people. The tanker drivers, they're not more than 50,000 people. And I still doubt if all petrol fuel station attendants are members of the bank. I doubt that so much.
All right, then, George Brown, thank you very much for clarifying the details there regarding the CNG trucks and how it affects the strike. We'll always come to you for these details.